Well, let me say good morning and a pleasant welcome to what making news in the print media. The local daily is a regular feature right here on Kings 88.5. This is where we give you what making news in the print media. We bring you the major headlines, give you synopsis of what is happening in the print media. Today is the 16th day of October 2024, and it is the Wednesday edition of the program King's Local Daily. My name is Israel BOYE-WEAH. Well, we got a rate of papers here this morning. Dossiers of our newspaper making news in the print media. And our first stop yet is the Inquirer newspaper. The Inquirer newspaper is our first stop here on the King's Local Daily. Volume 33, number 192. This is the Wednesday edition of this paper, and it's sold for $40 Liberian. Front page headline: Liberia prepares for national oil spill response. Liberia prepares for national oil spill response. At UNESCO, Education Minister calls for increased international support. At UNESCO, Education Minister calls for increased international support. And I see the photograph of Liberia's Education Minister, Jaso Jala. Stay on the front page of the Inquirer newspaper. Campaign for non-permanent seat at UN Games stand. Minister Yi discloses. ECOWAS Regional Network holds a 16th annual review meeting on TRP in Monrovia. But I flip to the back page of the Inquirer newspaper. 8-4 to Sese Wool in Nimba. Ivorian herbalist Gwen accused. 8-4 to Sese Wool in Nimba. Ivorian herbalist Gwen accused. And I see the photograph of our Liberian Internal Affairs Minister, Francis Akile Yumanle, dressed up in his typical traditional attire. Lack of quorum cancels House constitutional resumption. Lack of quorum cancels House constitutional resumption. Well, let's bring you a little gist of this story on the back page of the Inquirer newspaper. The House of Representatives on Tuesday, October 15, adjourned its session after only 20 members were present, far below the quorum needed for legislative proceedings. With 53 lawmakers absent, Deputy Speaker Thomas Falla, standing in for Speaker Nanti Kofa, expressed frustration and directed the Sergeant at Arms to locate the missing members. Despite efforts to round up the absent representatives, the 73 members' body were unable to meet the quorum requirement for the transactions of official business. I leave it right there. That's how we do it for the Inquirer newspaper. You can go out there and grab a copy for just $40 Liberian. Our next stop is the News newspaper, the nation's news since 1989. This is volume 35, number 125. And this paper is sold for $40 Liberian. Front page headline: Liberia battles cybersecurity gurus in ECOWAS hackup finals today. Liberia battles cybersecurity gurus in ECOWAS hackathon finals today. LNBA signs US 211,000 D with contractor to complete headquarters first floor. Corrupt LNP officer dismissed, 2 others suspended. And I see the photograph of Police Inspector General Gregory Comer erected on the front page of the News newspaper. I flip to the back page of the News newspaper. Bill for UN seats steady. Deputy Foreign Minister disclosed it. And I see Deputy Foreign Minister Ibrahim Yi erected on the back page of the News newspaper. Health orders top agenda as Senate reconvenes. And I see pro temp of the Liberian Senate, my own old man, Senator Yombly Kangad Lawrence. This is how we do it for the News newspaper. You can go out there and grab a copy for $40 Liberian and follow up on the story in totality. Our next stop is the New Liberia newspaper. One nation, one people, one destiny. This is volume 46, number 705. And this paper is sold for just $30 Liberian. Front page headline: President BOYE-WEAH proposes strategies for global food reform. President BOYE-WEAH proposes strategies for global food reform. And I see President Joseph Human BOYE-WEAH rated on the front page of the New Liberia newspaper. And he proposes this at the World Food Forum in Rome, Italy. Chinese company mobilizes equipment for Tottenham Boulevard overpass project. I flip to the back page of the New Liberia newspaper. Liberia's campaign for UNXG non-permanent seat gains momentum, says Deputy Minister Dr. Ibrahim Yi. Senate places a premium on oversight of electricity health. And I see pro tem Senator Lawrence right there on the back page of the New Liberia newspaper. MOA distribute modern equipment to 3 counties. That's the Ministry of Agriculture. We leave it right there. You can go out there and grab a copy for just $30 Liberian. The Oracle newspaper is our next stop. That's the Oracle Daily News. The Oracle News Daily, reporting the truth to you. Volume 2, number 134. And for $40, you can grab a copy of the Oracle News Daily. Front page headline: Tax hell. Government proposes sweeping tax reforms that nearly ousted Kenya's ruler. Oh, I think tax hell. Government proposes sweeping tax reforms that nearly ousted Kenya's ruler. Let's bring you a gist of this story right here on the front page of the Oracle News Daily. President Joseph Boakai and cabinet are preparing to implement a series of comprehensive tax reforms similar to what was introduced in Kenya that sparked violent protests that nearly topped the East African nation's government. The tax hack was agreed with the International Monetary Fund to bolster government's financial health amid declining extended revenue. These changes are posed to significantly impact consumers, businesses, and multinational corporations operating in the country. I'll leave it right there. I flip to the back page of the Oracle News Daily. Delon faces impeachment prospect amidst growing discontent. Delon faces impeachment prospect amid growing discontent. I see Darius Delon right here on the back page of the Oracle Daily News. It's very serious. Go out and grab a copy of this paper and follow its stories in totality. And next up is the Verite newspaper. Volume 1, number 40, and for $40 Liberian dollars, you can grab a copy of the Verite newspaper. Front page headline: Crumbling Supreme Court bidding. Chief Justice raises alarm, wants new bidding. Crumbling Supreme Court bidding. Chief Justice raises alarm, wants new bidding. And I see the Chief Justice right here, dressed up in her judicial attire, alongside members of the Supreme Court bench. Shall I bring you a synopsis of this story right here on the Veritas newspaper? The building's structural integrity has significantly deteriorated, making the construction of a new Supreme Court facility an urgent necessity to reduce overcrowding and prevent potential hazards. Chief Justice SIEH emphasized. Chief Justice Iyo raised this alarm on Monday, October 15, 2024, while giving opening address at the official opening of the October 10th of court. The Liberian Chief Justice stretched the severity of the crumbling bidding and the urgency to construct a new Supreme Court complex. I leave it right there. Stay on the front page of the Verite newspaper. President Boakai calls for global action. 5 charged with multiple crimes, including armed robbery. I flip to the back page of the Verite newspaper. Ex-Senate Pro Tem Abachi vows to introduce Bay establishing sports academy. We leave it right there. Go out there and grab a copy of the paper for $40 Liberian dollars and follow its stories in totality. What the papers are stating here, the In Profile Daily newspaper is our next stop in all that we do and write, in all that we report, come what may, and no matter what, Liberia first. Volume 16, number 234, and this paper is sold for $40 Liberian dollars. Front page headline: GASD Executive Director of Blast UP-led government. TUE condemns UP's hypocrisy on salary harmonization. Another feeble attempt to remove Speaker Cover over on cover. Another feeble attempt to remove Speaker Cover on cover. And I see few lawmakers seated here on the front page of the In Profile Daily newspaper. Lawmakers blends a pro tem. Kangat selfish greedy. Lawmaker blends a pro temporary Kanga. Lawrence selfish greedy. And I see Representative Clarence Banks alongside Pro-Tem Senator Yombli Kanga. I flip to the back page of the Improva News Daily Paper. That's the Improva Daily newspaper. Missing men bodies discovered in Nimba. Missing men bodies discovered in Nimba. ECOWAS official highlight collaborative efforts to curb tourism in West Africa. Bwaka breaks ground for first ever utility skills solar plant. I leave it right there. For $40 Liberian, you can grab a copy of the Improva Daily newspaper. Up next up is the New Republic newspaper, volume 15, number 52. And this paper is sold for just $50 Liberian. The October 16 edition, front page headline: demolition starts. Sheriff's properties bulldoze at SKD Boulevard Junction as government begin work for overhead pathway. GSC releases report on 102 audits. Publishes 181 audit report. Attempt to remove Speaker Kofa on cover. I move to the back page of the New Republic newspaper. Western Cluster Limited confirms. Western Cluster Limited confirms as lawmakers abandon section. Double standards in UMC same-sex saga as Bishop Kwei warns church against breaking away. Take your hand out of the cookies jar. Clergyman urges Bwaka UP officials. Let me read a little gist of this story on the back page of the New Republic newspaper. The Dowson Bishop of the Aboso Apostolic Faith Church of Jesus Christ, Samuel Fonati Numba, has urged President Joseph Human Bwaka and his government officials to take their hands out of the cookies jar and address the pressing needs of the citizen, dragging inspiration from the biblical figure of prophet Nehemiah. According to the renowned Liberian cleric prophet, Nehemiah prioritized addressing the needs of his people. I leave it right there. That's how we do it for the New Republic newspaper. Go out there and grab a copy for just $40 Liberian. The Eyes of the Globe is our next stop. Volume 13, number 347. This is the October 16th edition, and this paper is sold for just $30 Liberian. Front page headline: Liberia's campaign for UNSC seat gains momentum, says Deputy Minister Dr. Ibrahim Ye. NIR LTA Sound Pack needs US $36 million for enrollment in its registry. I see the NIR Executive Director Andrews Peters dressed up in a taco suit, scrapping necktie, and a white shirt on the very serious. I flip to the back page. No, that's how we do it for the Eyes of the Globe. The invitation is yours to go out there for $30 Liberian and grab a copy of that paper. If you just tuning in, this is King's Local Daily. This is where we bring you headline, what making news in the print media, give you synopsis, and afford you the opportunity to go out there and grab a copy of the local dailies. The state to come, Women Voices newspaper is our next stop. Volume 13, number 090. For $40 Liberian, you can grab a copy of this paper. Front page headline: Big police people steal investors' money. Some suspended, one dismissed. Big police people steal investors' money. Some suspended, one dismissed. And I see Petroleum Sensi Massacre right now. Patrolman Sensi Massacre. He said, I'm in the boiling water. And I see ACP Sembala. They right here on the front page of the Women Voices newspaper. Let me flip into this paper and bring you a gist of what making news right here on the Women Voices newspaper. The Liberian National Police, LNP, has taken decisive action against its members following a high-profile incident involving the theft of US 12,000 from two businessmen. Assistant Commissioner of Police ACP Sam Bala and Patrolman Augustine Ben, both of the Criminal Intelligence Division, have been suspended, while Patrolman Sensisi Masakwe has been dismissed from his duties. The allegations against them stemmed from an incident involving the illegal detention and robbery of Vietnam's businessmen Nguyen Dinh and Levan Tu. Inspector General Colonel Gregory Coleman addressed the media on October 15, 2024 to outline the situations and the steps taken by the LNP in response. We leave it right there. When I flip to the back page of the Women Voices newspaper, why Lila Kukuyu wants to become Commerce Minister. Why Lila Kukuyu wants to become Commerce Minister? That's the question on the back page of the Women Voices newspaper. And I see Lila Kukuyu right here. She's dressed a sparkling, beautiful Liberian lady. LNP recalls 157 accident cases for September 2024. Dismisses police officers for stealing US 12,000 United States dollars. NCD celebrates Worldwide King Safety Day as CSA boss calls for persons with disabilities inclusion in the public and private sector. What is that? We do it for the Women Voices newspaper. For $40 Liberian, you go out there and grab a copy of the paper. But our next stop is the Hot Pepper newspaper. We too belong. That is the motto of this paper. And this is volume 9, number 11446. And this is the October 16th edition of the Hot Pepper newspaper. And this paper is sold for $40 Liberian. Front page headline. As Unity Party governments validate harmonization in new IMF agreement, Samuel Tuet dissents on BOYE-WEAH administration, requests public apology for deceiving Liberians about the program. Well, let's bring you a gist of this story right here on the front page of the Hot Pepper newspaper. The Board of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has approved an approximately US $210 million extended credit facility, ECF, arrangement for Liberia, which will enable an immediate disbursement of US $5.8 million. The approval is to assist Liberian authority in their reform efforts to address macroeconomic imbalances and establish a foundation for increased private sector-led growth beyond the natural resource sector. The 14-month financing package will support the authority economic reform agenda, the arrest to address macroeconomic imbalance, strengthening debt sustainability, and lay the foundations for higher, more inclusive and private sector-led growth beyond the eclipse sector. I'll leave that story right there. When I flip to the back page of the Hot Pepper newspaper, LNBA GES Engineering signed contract to complete BAS headquarters project. And I see officials of the Liberia National Bar Association right here on the back page of the Hot Pepper newspaper. Take your hands from their cookies jar. Bishop Nuba warns President BOYE-WEAH and officials. Bloom Bank concludes Terry Ayi West promote a rifle draw in Buchanan. That's how we do it for the Hot Pepper newspaper. You can go out there and grab a copy of this paper for $40 Liberian. Heritage newspaper is our next stop. The Truth is Our God. Volume 27, number 355-602, October 16 edition. And for 40 Liberian dollars, you can grab a copy of this paper. For rest production, Liberia European Investment Bank finalized US 50 million loan. Senate bathing in corruption. BOYE-WEAH opens opt-in plenary. GAC report reveals slow progress in implementing other recommendations at 48 government entities. GAC report reveals slow progress. What I flip in this story to bring you a gist of this one: Senate bathing in corruption. BOYE-WEAH opens opt-in plenary. Nimba County Senator Prince Yomi Johnson, alias BOYE-WEAH, has aired the Liberian Senate, stating that it is seated in the middle of corruption and as such lacks span to hold others accountable for any act of corruption. Senator Johnson, who is famously referred as the doyen of the Liberian Senate, having been the longest-serving senator since January of 2006, opened up that august body of the Liberian legislature is bathing in corruption and as such needs to put it housed into quick order. So the back page of the Heritage newspaper on International Day of the Girl Child, VP Kun pledges support for empowering girls. And I see Jeremiah Pankun right here. Shameful and embarrassing. RG Coleman laments police corruption, harassment, and abuse. Hey God. That's why you need to put the people on payroll. Liberia's campaign for UN Security Council non-permanent seat gains momentum. Which momentum now? But our next stop is the Daily Observer's newspaper, volume 24, number 174. For 40 Liberian dollars, you can grab a copy of this paper. Back cheer calls for BOYE-WEAH's COS resignation. Back's cheer calls for BOYE-WEAH's COS resignation. That is what on the front page. And I see my Gibi County District 5 Representative Clarence Gar. If Moda can resign over allegation of purchasing a questionable luxurious vehicle, what can Grisby do the same? Asked Representative Clarence Gar. I need to go in this the story. I want to flip here, bring you a gist of this story right here on the Daily Observer newspaper. Try to flip there. Where we are there, let's bring you a gist of this story quickly before we wrap it up on the next two papers. The chair of the Legislative Joint Public Account Committee, PAC, Margibi County District 5 Representative Clarence Gar, is calling for the resignation of the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, Sylvester Grisby, following allegation of a leaked financial document linking him to the purchase of luxurious XUV vehicles with taxpayers' money. The document reportedly indicated that the minister, who by the virtue of that position is the chief of office staff to the president of Liberia, Joseph Human Boakat, received funds from National Social Security and Welfare Corporation, NASCOP, to procure vehicles for the president during the transition period, with the vehicles not yet accounted for. Oh my God, we'll leave it right there. Stay on the back page of the Daily Observer newspaper. House fails to convene for first section due to lack of quorum. And I see the photograph of the House of Representatives so empty. Record of Public Defenders hinders magisterial court's functions. LNBA President Councillor Rainey claims. When we leave it right there, that's how we do it for the Daily Observer newspaper. Our next stop is the Independent newspaper, Liberia's most investigative newspaper. Volume 23, number 431. And this paper is sold for $40 Liberian. Front page headline: Budget Apata. Budget Apata as Chief Justice decries financial law. Desecrations, exclusions of judiciary. And I see the photograph of President Joseph BOYE-WEAH wearing his party paraphernalia. See the Chief Justice or Honor CINU. She's not looking serious here. Automatically, she's not looking serious. She's wearing her judiciary regalia. But from every look, she's not happy. And I see House Speaker J. Funanti Kofa is articulating right here, holding his microphone. And I want to go into this paper. I want to go into this paper here and bring you a gist of this story. The Chief Justice of Liberia is not looking happy right here on the front page of the Independent newspaper. I'm trying to see I can flip myself and get to this story. Oh my God, time is not in my favor. Yes, yeah, we are there. Yes, we are there. Let's begin the gist of this story. The Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia, CIEH, says the legislative and executive branches of government have consistently been involved in non-compliance with the Financial Autonomy Act. The Financial Autonomy Act calls for the inclusion of the three branches of the Liberian government, legislature, executive, and the judiciary, in the formulation of the national budget process. In line with Liberia's 1986 Constitution, the legislative branch makes laws. Judiciary interprets the laws, while the executive branch enforces or implements the law. Justice Yeo also decried what she characterized as the continuous exclusion of the judicial branch about the legislative and executive branches as it relates to the national budget of formulation process. I leave it right there. In sports, Libya criticizes Nigeria amid AFCON qualifiers boycott. Move to the back page of the Independent newspaper. From magisterial courts, withdrawal of public defenders triggers uproar. Same-sex marriage not applicable to Liberia. Bishop Quay tells Liberia National Police. Oh, the police going to? Oh my God. Well, our last paper will be the Nation's Times. The Nation's Times is our last stop here on King's Local Daily. Number 20, that's volume 20, number 39. Front page headline. And this paper is sold for $40 Liberian. Front page headline: U.S. convict turned mercenary talk show host. Quest for rice importation monopoly rises anger against President BOYE-WEAH. U.S. convict turned mercenary talk show host. Quest for rice importation monopoly rises anger against President BOYE-WEAH. And I see Staunton Waterspoon right here on the front page of the Nation Times newspaper. Well, let's see if we can go to this story here. This story and bring a little gist of it right here in the Nation's Times newspaper. How U.S. convict turned mercenary talk show host. The U.S. indicted convict Stanton Waterspoon is a licensed practical nurse, LPN, who worked in Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania, and was a link to the Lee Training Institute in the state of Delaware as a nursing director. He previously worked prior as an LPN at a large nursing contractor agency known as BOYE-WEAH. On his professional LinkedIn page, which has not been updated in recent times, the inductee, Mr. Waterspoon, claims to be a pastor, freelance, multimedia journalist, digital strategist, and mental health enthusiast. Mr. Waterspoon and the other appeared in the U.S. District Court for the South District of Florida to answer to the allegation. I leave it right there. Go out and grab a copy of this paper. Well, that's how we go, and that's how we do it. On to today's editions of King's Local Daily, what making news in the print media. Let's say thank you to our man Charles Roberts Elias Choppy, for always fitting us in with the various local dailies and the institutions providing of these papers, so as to giving our people some updates and some synopsis of what making news in the print media. But this is how I go on to this edition. We'd like to say thank you to our listeners in Radio Land. Thanks to our many viewers following us via the Facebook and YouTube. Until tomorrow, as we are here with a fresh new presentation and a new presenter. My name is Israel BOYE-WEAH. Have a pleasant Wednesday morning from the nation's capital. Bye-bye.